It's not just about cheating, this is straight up slow motion character assassination. Jules just dropped the bomb that made us all realize. The aesthetic Dylan and Jules relationship we've been hyping up this whole time was actually an emotional manipulation. Trapped Out today, we're not talking about regular breakup drama. We're dissecting the anatomy of a toxic relationship where the audience got turned into a weapon to torture the victim. Let's break down the dark truth behind the scenes. Yo, what's up, friends? Welcome back to Spill the Tea Hollywood YouTube channel. My analysis of Jules reveal brings us to one core conclusion. The brighter the spotlight, the darker the shadow. All this time, creators like Dylan have been exploiting romantic aesthetics to build a super loyal fanbase and fat brand deals. But when Jules exposed that the control wasn't just in their relationship boundaries, but also in career and emotional stuff, we finally saw the real face of a performative relationship. This isn't just two young people who weren't compatible anymore. This is psychological exploitation. Dylan monopolized the whole narrative and turned Jules into an accessory for his personal brand. When Jules tried to step out of that shadow, Dylan used gaslighting to destroy his ex's sanity in the public eye. The most dangerous part of this whole thing is how Dylan flipped the script after the breakup. Through his apology videos or one-sided statements, he positioned himself as the victim. In behavioral analysis, emotional manipulators love using their audience as proxy bullies. Dylan knew exactly what he was doing. By playing the heartbroken good guy, he'd get protection from the fans while Jules got attacked. Jules was brave enough to drop the receipts and screenshots, which is a crucial move to break the cycle. She exposed the fake shit with actual facts, not just opinions, and completely flipped the public narrative that the abuser had built. This case is a loud alarm for all of us as social media consumers in 2026. We're so used to consuming romantic content without ever questioning the ethics behind it. When someone builds their popularity on a private relationship, then everything destructive that happens inside it stops being private. This reveal pulls back the curtain and shows that a lot of perfect relationships on the internet are actually empty shells where one person dominates the other. Jules isn't just airing dirty laundry. She's declaring war on the normalization of emotional manipulation that's been hidden behind pretty visuals and sweet captions. In my opinion, Jules' courage to speak up isn't just for sympathy. It's her reclaiming her agency. She refused to be silenced by Dylan's popularity and influence. What happened to her proves that in the digital industry, keeping your moral integrity is way more valuable than protecting a fake image. This forces the industry, the audience, and other creators to stop normalizing emotional manipulation. As long as our moral compass is only based on views and likes, we're just going to keep producing manipulative people who use their closest ones as stepping stones for personal ambition. Our analysis can't stop at the manipulation facts. We also have to look at how Jules' vulnerability was commodified. In the attention economy, suffering is the fastest currency for engagement. Dylan didn't just control Jules' emotions in real life, he turned them into measurable content. Every tear and every vulnerable moment he recorded became a product sold to the audience. This is next-level digital exploitation where your partner gets exploited to feed the viewer's drama addiction. When Jules tried to take her agency back, Dylan felt like his product was broken and tried to destroy her, so he wouldn't lose control. We're also seeing the industry's double standard at work. If a female creator did what Dylan did, the public backlash would have been fast and merciless. But with his male privilege and nice guy image, Dylan managed to hide his dirt much longer. He used systematic psychological manipulation tactics. When Jules brought out the evidence, Dylan didn't take accountability. He hit back with dramatic but empty clarifications. He silenced the victim by disguising the power imbalance as just normal communication issues between two adults. This revelation exposes something way deeper than just one couple's drama. It's a symbol of the crumbling foundation of influencer culture built on fakery. For years, audiences were made to believe romantic content was a reflection of real life worth copying. When a scandal like this explodes with undeniable proof, it triggers an existential crisis for fans who feel duped. We're witnessing a radical shift. Audiences are getting sick of it and moving from naive followers to super skeptical Observers. Jules dropping those irrefutable receipts is a brutal blow to gaslighters in the modern era. Manipulators usually feel safe thinking they can delete digital trails and rewrite the narrative. But Jules shattered that untouchable illusion that big creators have. She showed that behind the aesthetic feed, there is an inhumane reality where someone's dignity is traded for visibility and profit. This isn't just about exposing dirt anymore, it's a systematic takedown of predatory behavior hiding behind popularity. And let's be real, we as the audience aren't completely innocent in this toxic cycle. For years we've been thirsty for romantic content and validated Dylan's behavior with millions of views and likes. We gave economic incentives to their relationship performance, not realizing we were building a stage for the manipulator. When we demand transparency, we often forget basic human boundaries and turn private lives into products that must satisfy our expectations. That passive involvement indirectly makes us enablers of the power imbalance happening behind the scenes. Looking deeper, we see how an influencer's brand pathology has eaten away at their humanity. Dylan is no longer seen as a person with basic morals, but as a commercial entity that must be protected at all costs, even through manipulative and unethical ways. In this landscape, empathy and integrity get sacrificed for metrics and audience retention. When the brand becomes more important than the truth, lies stop being shameful and become just smart business strategy to protect existence and money. Jules revealed her as a much bigger epistemological crisis about what we even consider truth on social media. We can no longer tell the difference between authentic moments and simulations made to manipulate public emotions. The relationship we once saw as the gold standard of a healthy partnership turned out to be nothing but visual construction. This demands that we become radically skeptical of every narrative influencers push, making us realize that behind perfect aesthetics, there's often a gaping moral void and a much darker reality than we imagined. Jules has shattered the myth that love can fix someone's destructive behavior. The common narrative has always been that a messed up guy will become better if he's with the right partner. In reality, that narrative just becomes a trap that justifies exploitation and toxic behavior toward their partner. Jules showed that self-agency, mental safety, and personal boundaries are way more important than the emotional obligation to fix someone who has no intention of changing. Deeper analysis of Dylan's response shows how apologies in the influencer world have been reduced to crisis management commodities. The statement he released wasn't genuine moral accountability. It was a carefully written text, designed to calm sponsors and advertisers. Using ambiguous words and playing with viewers' emotions, the abuser tries to wash his hands of his destructive actions. Jules exposed the fake rhetoric by bringing undeniable proof that directly revealed those apologies were just market-adjusted lies to protect his public image. This reveal has triggered a fundamental shift in the parasocial relationship between creators and their audience. For the longest time, fans felt this deep emotional bond with Dylan, believing they truly knew the real him through the screen. When the evidence of psychological abuse and manipulation came out, it created a much deeper sense of betrayal than just another cheating scandal. This erosion of trust is making audiences realize they've been manipulated into supporting harmful behavior. It's a massive blow to the creator economy, because it shows that their entire financial foundation is built on an extremely fragile illusion. Going deeper, Dylan's actions toward Jules reflect a control pathology rooted in a sense of ownership. In that relationship, Dylan didn't treat Jules as an equal partner but as an extension of his brand and personal asset. Every time Jules tried to build her own identity outside of his shadow, it was seen as a threat that had to be neutralized. This exposure sharply highlights how personal boundaries were violated in the name of love or partnership, when in reality it was just a mask for systematic dominance and psychological control. Jules speaking out has also become an important case study on how victims of emotional abuse in the public eye can reclaim their narrative. For years, manipulators have relied on the victim's fear of backlash from the audience if they dare to speak up. By presenting concrete evidence, Jules didn't just validate her own experience. She set a precedent for other victims to fight back against the system that silences them. This is an incredibly brave emotional and intellectual move, turning a once passive victim into an agent of change, leading the resistance against this manipulative culture. My overall take on this: entire analysis is that the Jules and Dylan case isn't just a regular breakup drama or a juicy cheating scandal. This is a symbol of the crisis of integrity and the commodification of human beings and the attention economy. Behind all that aesthetic, picture-perfect romantic content, there's often a deep power imbalance and systematic manipulative behavior. Dylan turned Jules from a partner into an accessory for his brand and personal ambitions. Jules' EOA courage in dropping those irrefutable receipts has broken the abuser's control over the narrative and created an important precedent for victims of digital manipulation to rise up. As consumers, we also have a moral responsibility. Too often we validate and consume other people's suffering as passive entertainment, without realizing we're enablers of a toxic ecosystem. This scandal serves as a harsh wake-up call to audiences that perfect relationships on social media don't always reflect reality. Viewers are now transforming into more skeptical observers of what influencers claim. Alright guys, that's the end of our deep dive into the Jules and Dylan case. The biggest lesson from all of this is, never sacrifice your sanity and self-worth for an aesthetic or validation in the digital world. What do you guys think after seeing the full anatomy of the manipulation happening behind the scenes? Do you spot the same red flags in other influencer relationships? Drop your thoughts, criticism, and support for Jules in the comments below. Let's discuss with empathy and a clear head. If this video and analysis gave you a sharper perspective and opened your eyes, don't forget to smash the like button and share this video with your friends so they can stay alert to digital manipulation. 2. Make sure you've already subscribed to Spill the Tea Hollywood and turned on the notification bell, because we'll keep exposing the truth behind the scenes secrets and all the influencer drama every single week. Thank you for sticking with us until the end. Stay critical, stay empathetic, and don't let the algorithm dictate your self-worth. I'm signing off now. See you in the next video.